important technique that you must know in terms of how to go about searching for information, whether it is in a text file or in an array. So that would answer the question, that particular question. 2.2.2, that was straightforward. You just needed to call the toString. And here for 2.2.2, there's the toString method. Remember, it has to be called through your object because the toString is inside of a different unit. And here is your object that needs to be called, which is linked to the unit that is outside of this particular form. Finally, 2.2.3, test validity. Use the has expired method written in question 2.1.4 to determine whether the digital certificate has expired or not. Suitable message if the digital certificate has not expired. If the digital certificate has expired, so if the certificate has expired, use an input box to ask the user whether the certificate must be renewed. And if it must be renewed, then these three steps need to execute. Increase the issue number attribute by 1, generate a new code, and set the expiry date to the new expiry date. So let's see how we go about doing that. So has expired. We need to use the has expired. That was in our unit. Through my object, it's a function, so it's returning a value. In a previous video, I indicated that a function can be called inside of an if statement. There's 3 ways you could call a function. 1, you could call it and display the value in a rich edit. 2, you can call it and assign it to a variable. Or 3, you could call it in a condition like this in an if statement. So if the object dot has expired, if it's equal to true, then you're displaying a message to say that the digital certificate has expired. They want you to input, there's my input box, ask the user, do you want your certificate to be renewed or not? Get some answer and check. If they say yes, it would have been a good idea here if we said yes or no. Preferably if you're doing something like this, it would be a better idea if you say Y or N. The minute you start typing yes or no, then other complications can come. I hear you thinking, but shouldn't you be checking for uppercase and those problems that could arise? And I agree. We should have said if uppercase data equals and had yes in all uppercase. So that's some form of validation that should be done. So if it is equal to yes, then we call the increase issue number. That's what these are the 3 things they want us to do. The second thing is to generate a security code. And we then reset. Expiry date. And we call the toString method. Keep in mind that increase issue number, generate security code, and reset, all of these are procedures. And because they're procedures, you call them by their name. Obviously, in this instance, they're in another unit, so you call them using your object that's linked to that unit. And what these procedures do, they change the attributes automatically. And then when I call the toString, it will then display, we're calling it in a rich edit, it will then display the new attributes that have been assigned in these 3 procedures. And then the else would mean the certificate has expired is false. It's not expired. So a message should then be displayed. Digital certificate has expired. It should actually read has not expired, because in the previous instance, if has expired is true, that means the digital certificate has expired. That was the last question. I hope this helps.